Okay, I want to show you some unique Don Reno chord shapes here. And I've already shown you this barred 7th shape and playing a minor chord against a major in other RENO-VATIONS videos. So if you haven't seen those yet, check out the RENO-VATIONS playlist on my channel. But this video is going to focus on more unusual type chord shapes that Don did. And a lot of these are going to be kind of 7th chord shapes. And the first one I want to show you is this one here. Alright. Now you probably already know this chord or part of this chord shape. Scruggs use this quite a lot. What I'm doing here, the way Scruggs played this would be your 2nd string on the 5th fret and the 8th fret on your 1st string and roll forward on the 5th, 2nd, and 1st. Or roll backwards. A lot of times Scruggs roll backwards. Alright. So what Don does is he's adding a 3rd note to that on the 7th fret on the 3rd string. Alright. It gives it a weird kind of stark, kind of a mysterious sound, I guess you would call it. Alright, and the first time I heard him do this chord shape was in a tune called Banjo Special, and we're going to be talking about Banjo Special a lot through this video because he does a lot of cool things in Banjo Special, a lot of different chord shapes. But he uses this chord shape. He plays it through an E, through an A, and into a D. Alright, so he would do stuff like that. So what I'm doing there is you just take that chord shape and you move it up to the 9th fret. What I mean by that is my 1st finger to start this shape is going to be on the 9th fret. Your E chord is on the 9th fret. So that's how I kind of gain my bearings about me, so I know where I'm at when I'm doing this. I think, well, I want my 1st finger to be on the chord that I'm playing in. So I come to the 9th fret, do that chord shape, come to the 14th fret, to an A, to the 7th fret, to do a D7. So that's a really cool 7th chord there. And speaking of Banjo Special, I'm moving kind of fast in this video because I got a lot of chords to show you, so I may have to break this up into 2 parts, but we'll see. Banjo Special, he does another 7th chord where he plays an E chord like this. Alright, so Banjo Special is like... Alright, so he goes into an E and then slides into this E7. Alright, sounds pretty unusual because what it is he's got the 1st string open. And he actually uses this chord in a tune called Tennessee Cut-Up Breakdown. So what it is basically just a D-shaped 7th chord. And what I mean by that, here's your regular D chord. That's your full chord, no open strings. And I want to add a 7th note to that. So your 7th note would be here on the 5th fret on the 3rd string. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my pinky up here and grab that note, leaving the 1st string open. Alright, now it's kind of awkward to hold my hand like that, so I'm going to rearrange my fingers to grab those same notes right out of that D7th. So now I've got my 1st finger on the 2nd string and my middle on the 4th and my ring finger on the 3rd. And leaving the 1st string open. Alright, so in Tennessee Cut-Up Breakdown, Don uses this through a C7th. Slides it up to a G7th. Back to the C7th. To the G7th. Back to the C7th. And just move that right up to your A7th. Down to your D7. Alright, so that's a pretty cool 7th chord to use. Like I said, it makes it unusual because Don's using the 1st string as a drone kind of. Alright. And that doesn't work for every chord on the neck because that D string doesn't work for every chord, but it does for most. Another unusual chord shape that comes right after that in Banjo Special. So when he comes out of that E, he comes into an A7 or a F-shaped A and walks down to this A7 chord. He uses this one quite a lot, and it's a really unusual A chord. All right. So what he's doing is this is a F-shaped A, and he's walking down on the 4th string to your G note, which is the 7th note for an A chord. But what makes it weird is he's using the 2nd string open. He's just leaving that open. All right. So, for example, you can use this. He uses this a lot in fiddle backup if he's playing in D. Stuff like that. But that's a really weird A7 chord.